And the more friends you have, the better it is. Good morning, friends of the social world. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm LUCA MAGNO, and as every morning at 7 a.m. Italian time, you'll find the video. Today we're talking about friendships. Friendships, friendships, and the choice of friends. Friendships are fundamental in life because there's family, and that's sacred. Then besides family, your life depends on friendships. Your life depends on friendships. So, especially if you are young, make sure you have the right friendships. Because if you grow up with bad friends, you'll end up bad too. It's essential to have the right friendships because if you have a friend you consider a true friend and you know they're a good person, you know you can trust them, you know you can confide in them, and you know that if you're in trouble and need them, they'll be there. Meanwhile, you also need to be that kind of person. They can be your friend, right? And in tough times, you help a friend because you know who they are. They can be your friend, right? And in tough times, you help a friend because you know who they are. I mean, he has to be someone you consider a friend, so that's key. And in tough times, because we all can have a tough moment, in those tough times, you'll help him because you know what kind of person he is. Okay, and so you help him because he's that kind of person. But if you have a friend who is not a top person, well, I love him, but we grew up together, but no. But no. If that person isn't a good person, always getting into trouble, causing issues, you can't trust them. And when you need them, they're not there because they're focused on their own stuff. So excuse me, let me understand. Are you a friend or a burden? Are you ruining your life for them? But I've shown that I care. No, you haven't shown anything. You've shown that you're terrible at choosing friends. Are you ruining your life for him? Well, I've proven it. You haven't proven anything. You've proven that you're terrible at choosing friends because you should act like a friend with all the values of friendship. But the friend has to be worth it. And I'm not talking about tough moments. Anyone can have a rough time. They can mess up once, maybe even twice. But if it's someone who's always getting into trouble, and you always have to help them, and you're always there having to babysit them, that's not a friend. That person is draining you. They're not a friend. He's ruining you. He's leading you down a bad path. So, choosing your friends is crucial. Because you can choose your friends, or you can't choose your relatives. You have them. You can't choose them, right? You can choose whether to hang out with them or not. But you can't choose them. A sister is your sister. Your father is your father. You can't choose them. But friendships, yes. And if you keep toxic friendships, when a person is toxic, you don't even need to argue with them. If a person is toxic, you need to avoid them. Check your friendships carefully. Calm down for a moment. You say, look, these are my friends. Is this toxic? But we're friends, and we have a mutual friend. Avoid him. He's a toxic person. He's ruining your life. You know there's that saying that you're the average of the 10 people you spend the most time with. And it's true. Why is that? Why is it like that? Why is this so? Why is that? If you hang out with a toxic person, at the very least, they are lowering your average, your level. He's ruining you. He's ruining you. If you have a friend from elementary school who's toxic and starting tomorrow, you don't want them in your friendships anymore. You avoid them. You need to do this. Look, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. Start doing that. Just let them go. It happened to me once. I joined a group of friends, right? and there's a good person. We play together for goodness sake. So the person, we had fun, we even went on a little vacation, and then they started calling me. Then they always talk to you about their lives as if you ever cared. He tells you about his life, his problems, and there were problems here, there were problems there, and he doesn't have money. And if I can lend him the money, and if I introduce him to that girl, and if the first time I responded, the second time I responded, by the third time, I started saying the same things back. I said, listen, little brother, I have my own problems. I can't keep up with yours. You need to solve yours yourself. It's not like we were even close friends. I mean, we went on vacation together yesterday, etc. But immediately, I had to avoid it because if you get into that loop where you start dealing with their issues, you end up with a toxic person who's always on your back. By toxic, I mean negative, a negative person. So, it's essential, guys, to choose your friendships wisely. Don't worry if you've known someone for a long time. Is that person improving or worsening your life? If they're making it worse, avoid them. There are times when, I repeat, if you have a friend who's going through a negative phase, they might be dragging you down at that moment, but you know the value of that person. Long-term friendships will always be different from new ones. There are people who always have new friendships. You see, their circle of friends is always made up of new people. They've known them for just a few years, and that's fine. Maybe people who move from one country to another, in the end, that's okay. But I would keep a core group, a few longtime friends, I would hold on to them. Then there are those who are a bit more opportunistic. I call them that. The ones who are friends out of convenience. There are some people who right now need you, architect. They are your lifelong friends. They call you. They rely on you for dinner, for their families, because they need the architect. The period ends when they need the architect. They need the real estate agent. And they become best buddies with the real estate agent, like brothers, saying how much they have in common. Then the period with the real estate agent ends, and they start playing soccer, becoming friends with someone who plays soccer, the captain, friend. Those are the kind of people. It's definitely good for them because they always manage to take advantage of all these things. But on the other hand, know that this is a temporary friend, a friend for as long as you're useful to them. The moment you're no longer useful to them, you're no longer their friend. So guys, I hope today I've given you some food for thought about friendships. Pay attention to your friendships. Think about who to keep in your life, who to spend more time with, and who to spend less time with. Your time is important, like everyone else's. So use it with the best people, because the more time you waste with someone who doesn't deserve it, the more time you're taking away from finding someone much better than them. Subscribe to the channel, follow me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.